Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about why 12 points. Why 12 point anything? Why would anybody want to buy 12 point sockets? Lots of reasons. Tons of reasons. But more so, let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Before I told you guys, hey, way back in the day, you know, people had 6 point, 12 point. When you first start out buying tools, you want to start with a 6 point because, hey, more surface to grab, less chance of rounding. 80 tooth technology ratchets that we have, you don't run into the same circumstances you did back in the day when there was a 32 tooth count ratchet and you needed to get just that hair more, Now you got a really sophisticated ratchet design that has plenty of teeth for you to move it just a hair more without having to worry about 6 point versus 12 point. But why on earth would anybody need a 12 point socket? If you're working in the independent shop, if you're working at a dealership and you're doing this on an every single day basis, not only do you need 12 point, but you need 12 point in 1/2 inch and in 3/8. Why on earth would you need that? If you're a diesel guy, you already know. Head bolts on the 6-liter Fords, come on, that big old nuts that go through onto the stud that goes through the head that holds it all down. That thing has got some major torque. I think it's like 250 foot-pounds worth of torque that those things have to be set to. So there's one. Another one, flywheel bolts. You're gonna run into situations on flywheels and flex plates where they use a 12 point and you need a 12 point socket for it. Now you can get away with 3/8, but now what do you pick? Chrome? Impact? What's the difference? Well, we all know that impact sockets were rated of a smoother, softer metal. Chrome sockets are made out of a harder metal, not meant to be put on an impact gun. Can you get away with it a couple times? Yeah, we've all done it. We've all been there. Should you? You should consider using an impact socket. If you find yourself using impact sockets frequently for that use, you should consider getting an impact socket set because you're going to be using it for that. If you find yourself using it more, putting force behind it because, again, there's a lot of torque behind those nuts that go onto the 6.0. I tried the Milwaukee, I tried the Matco Air Tool, I've tried the Snap-on 1/2 inch. It wouldn't do it. It was a lot. And who knows how long they've been on there for. So I literally had to get the biggest breaker bar out and heave-ho and crack them loose. And just to share in the joke, I'll show you how much I was affected by it. Roll camera, this is ridiculous, but roll camera.
Damn it. I'm done. I did everything I had to do today. Oh, I'm fucking wiped. Oh, God.
All right, let the laughing begin. You could say, you sissy bitch, what the fuck? I'm telling you guys, these shits were fucking on there. I was really trying to heave-ho it, and it just was not happening. But 12 point nonetheless, and an 18 millimeter, so I needed it. You're gonna need those. Intakes on older cars too. There's that Fiero that I had, that was like an 87 or 89. Intake manifold was held down all by 12 point bolts that went through it. So you guys are gonna run into it, believe me. It's not going away. So at the very minimum, you're gonna need 1/2 inch and 3/8. Jeep, cylinder head bolt, 12 point 13 millimeter. You can use 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch has a little bit tighter of a tolerance, but not very much. If you actually Google the difference, the measurement difference between the Imperial SAE standard versus the metric measurement, you'll find that the tolerances are relatively close. So you can use that for that. I have never had an issue using a 13 millimeter personally. And it was brought up in one of our blogs on the comment section of the removal of the Jeep 4-liter cylinder head removal. And I told them, hey, I've never had an issue with it. Now I've done at least a 6 heads on the inline 6. So you're gonna need it for that. I would recommend using a 3/8 drive because you can get in there and underneath the firewall, because we all know it has that little lip of the cow. Now when I had my own Jeep, I didn't have the 3/8 at the time. So I ended up using a 1/2 inch, and what happened? That was in my way. But it was my Jeep, so I took a big hammer and I smashed the fucking shit out of the firewall so I can get my 1/2 inch socket back there. Don't recommend doing that to everybody, especially if it's a customer car, which is why I recommend the 3/8. So I'm going to show you some 3/8 12-point sockets that I got from Cornwell for specifically the 4-liter inline 6 for Jeep. Show them to you guys. And I got them on such a killer deal, I couldn't pass them up. So I picked them up, about a week or two ago. And I'm just now getting around to showing you guys. So sorry for the delay. Let me pull them out and I'll show you what they look like. Let's take a look. Alright, so these are the Blue Power Cornwell sockets. Pretty sure they're made in Taiwan. All my 1/4-inch sockets, SAE and metric, are made from Cornwell. They're all chrome. I decided to go this route because you can't really get an impact back in the area for the inline 6 4-liter from Jeep. So this is the one specifically that I needed. Haven't used it yet. Ended up borrowing a former employee's 13mm 12-point to get the job done. He no longer works with us, so I needed to pick these up. So I picked these up from Cornwell. I love them. Okay, I love the Cornwell. I've used their 1/4-inch chrome sockets now for like the last 4 years. I think I've warrantied out the 10mm, 12, 13, 14, and 15 once a year. I have to change those ones out specifically. The rest of them seem to hold up. Why those ones in particularly? Because I'm working on Asian, domestic, European, and so, you know, for my Asian guys out there, 12 and 14. For my Euro and domestic guys, 13, 15, occasionally 11, 10. But you know what I mean? It was just one of those things that I've had no problem with them, and I do use a 1/4-inch cordless impact on the 1/4-inch sockets, so I'm sure that adds to the wear and tear overall. So for pretty much doing everything by hand, utilizing this set, I don't think I'm going to run into an issue. Now let me pull out another set that I've had for a little while, and I haven't used it too incredibly much, but it's nice to have. Let me share it with you. Alright, so I'm sure you guys remember the video that I did, but if you didn't, I'll just briefly show you these. This is a Snap-on set that I ended up picking up. It's impact rated. So I have used, what was it, the 18 or something like that on here. I've used the 18mm one time. Other than that, I haven't had a need to use these for impact purposes on 12-point stuff. But that's okay. I still have them in case that I need them. I'm sure I'm going to run into other situations where I need them. Now obviously I got a 13 in here as well, but it's too shallow for what it is that I need to do. So I picked up the Chromies. So that's pretty much to give you a rough idea of 12-point sockets. While we're on sockets, and I know I'm kind of tossing this into the 12-point mix real quick, but I just kind of wanted to share these with you. These things have saved my ass numerous times over. These are the more of a spline drive type Matco socket. Absolutely love these. They work fantastic on rounded fasteners. I don't care what anyone says about these things. These things are phenomenal. Can't beat them. Any rate, 12 points. Let's get back to it. Alright, so you guys heard my spiel, you heard my rant, you've seen the 12-point sockets that I have, and I even kind of tossed in just a spline drive socket there at the end just to kind of show you something else that was kind of cool. But at any rate, you need them. You need them, you need them, you need them. Deep, shallow, 1/2-inch, 3/8, those are the biggest ones. I doubt you're ever going to really need them for 1/4-inch. I have seen a couple things that ran down that low, but hey, look, 8mm I think was the smallest 12-point that I ever ran into, and my 3/8 drive ended up being able to remove that. So would a 1/4-inch 12-point set be kind of cool? Yeah, maybe in time, especially if you have the room for it, but if you don't have the room for it, it's whatever at this point. All I'm trying to say is, hey, not only have I found a need for 12 points over the years, but I have a constant need for 12 points. Whether I'm working on diesels or I'm working on gasoline, cars, trucks, SUVs, there's a need for 12 points, guys. And yeah, you're gonna run into it. So is 6-point better? Yes, in most circumstances, if you're using the fasteners every single day on every single bolt and everything else, absolutely you want to try to use a 6-point over a 12-point. But are you going to need 12 points? Yes, absolutely you are. You're just going to need them. That's just the way that it goes. Alright, that's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching. I hope it helped somebody. I hope it gave you a better understanding and it just the things of why 12 points are still and are so very important. See you guys next time. Deuces.